All right. Yeah, I think we're coming back. Okay. Thanks, guys, for bearing with me. This is why it's handy to have multiple devices lying around. Okay, so what we're talking about is how to have a quantum leap. We're talking about how to harness the potential of today, which is 2/22/22. And we're talking about how to engineer those snap together seasons. How do you create that? Well, those moments when you look at somebody else and it looks like they're having like a total quantum leap in their lives, usually what's actually happening is all the inner work and outer work and practices and skills and healing that they've been doing for decades is just starting to bear fruit in ways that you can see. Fortunately for them, you feel that work and you feel the additional joy, the additional alignment, the additional power, the additional peace, the additional knowledge and wisdom way before other people can see it. It's kind of like losing weight. You feel great when you've lost like 3 pounds, but other people may not see it till you've lost like 10 or 20. You know what I'm saying? So those times, those snap together seasons, I want to get to the essence of what they really are. Those snap together seasons, those times when you just feel like you just stay winning at life, those times when you just feel like you're consistently getting what you want. It's usually less about some spurt of effort that you've put forth in that moment. And usually what's happening is you're having an alignment moment. You're having an alignment season where you are getting all of the things in you and all the things outside of you, but in your life, into alignment with what you've been creating since you came here, maybe since before you even came to this body. And it all just starts to fall into place because you are now in alignment. So I'm not that type chick that's teaching like you never need to do any action on anything to get the things that you desire to have or you dream of having in your life. But what I am saying is that you will feel incredible progress toward becoming your big self and toward experiencing the fulfillment of your biggest dreams in those seasons where you're emerging from the deep, dark, lever pulling inner shadow work, and you start to more easily get into alignment with what it is that you dream and desire. All right, now sometimes that alignment will look like you move to a new place and you get a new job and you get a new wardrobe. And other times it'll just look like taking tiny little baby steps, to buy the property that seems out of reach, and every hour not letting your mother's voice in your head talk you out of the next step. Okay, sometimes alignment looks like big things, sometimes alignment looks like these little things. All right, sometimes alignment seasons and moments look like what look to other people like superhuman drive and focus and creative power, and other times they just look like deep, serene surrender, trust, letting the cosmic cards fall where they may. And what I see in this season is that for many of us, this era right now wants both of those things from many of us individually at the same time. We are being asked to show up in our lives with both drive and surrender, with both focused intention and great detachment from the very specific way that things play out. Okay, so that's the formula for showing up in your life in this season, engineering your own snap together season, at showing up as your true, big, sacred self with total trust that everything is always working out for you. That is the formula for allowing your life to be expanded and beautifully transformed and liberated and enjoyed, meaning like instilled with joy by all that is. The formula is show up. That the barriers between little you and big you, the barriers between how you've been being and all that is, the divine, the wise inner being that lives in you and is speaking to you within you as that still small voice, your impulses, your inspired ideas, all of that stuff. Let the barriers between those versions of you begin to dissolve. Like butter melting in a pan, they can dissolve fast as you take a deep breath. And on your exhales, allow every cold spot within you to thaw. Allow every hard knot within you to begin to unfurl and open up. As I speak to you and as you come to know that today, 2/22/22, is a particularly auspicious sort of portal for alignment. And all alignment means, guys, like we talk about, I teach alignment technologies and these 7 points, and then ask yourself this question and this inquiry and all that stuff. But all alignment means is all parts of you moving in the same direction, right? It's great inner peace. It's the absence of inner conflict, right? It's you thinking you getting on the same page with true sacred self you, right? The God offspring part of you. Okay. And so 2/22/22 is just a really good day and time for that level of oneness, alignment, everything in you moving in the same direction. 2 is the closest number to 1, right? So you know how it is. When you're in your own body, it's hard to see you. But when you're next to somebody, you can see everything you need to see about them, right? So like 2 is the closest to 1. 2 is just today is an easier day than most days to see your big self, to see your sacred self, to see your true self, to remember, put back the pieces of who you really are, to reclaim your whole self, to start to reclaim your unlived life. Today is a day on which the spiritual winds are just at your back a little more than normal, right? Helping just nudge you into alignment with your own self, with your own big dreams, so that every part of you can get into concert, can get into integrity, can get into coherence, and become one beautiful reality. All right, so today, your challenge today for me is just to do whatever it is that you need to, that you know how to do to get yourself into happy mode, alignment mode, joy mode, trust mode, allowing mode, relaxed mode. That's really all you need to be one with the all, is to be in your maximum position of joy, right? And from that place, you can have the space, the release of tracking and judging and grading your own progress to align to all the assistance that's trying to get to you right now. I've said this in a Transformation Tuesday a couple weeks ago, but I will say it again. I have gotten the message like 17 times over the last 3 months to deliver to y'all that there is a lot of assistance trying to get to you right now that you're not receiving. And of course, that is also an instruction for me. So let today be a day where you align to receiving maximum assistance from realms seen and unseen, and let yourself be surprised and delighted by how it shows up. All right. So if you really want to have a quantum leap, I don't think most people really want to have a quantum leap, because a true quantum leap would actually break your system. It will break your spiritual infrastructure, and we ain't about that life, okay? But do know that something that feels like an acceleration into your fulfillment of potentials and dreams and desires and joy and wholeness and liberation, that is available to you. And it only requires that you be willing to invest a couple decades, or 7 decades into the continuous work of recalibrating and actualizing and aligning every cell of who you be to who you really be, the big you, right? So if you're not willing to invest a few decades or your whole life doing that work, don't even trip. No worries. Life has a way of bringing us to a readiness to do that in its own time, in divine timing. But if you're listening to me, or if you're reading this, the chances are good that something within you became willing to do your inner work years ago, or maybe decades ago, because I tend to attract people into my world who are a little more advanced in the spiritual and personal growth game. So you may have chosen to walk the path of awakening your soul, recalibrating your spirit, actualizing your true sacred self, aligning your whole life to that. You probably chose to do that a long time ago, whether you had a specific ceremony on that day or not, right? So if you have willingness to do that, then let me take this opportunity on 22222 to share what I think of as my quantum leap mantra. All right. It is the most powerful alignment mantra there is. And here it goes. This is an old Florence, it's from Florence Scovel-Shinn. It's one of the most powerful metaphysical sentences it's one of the most metaphysically powerful sentences you can say. And this is it. Divine order is now established in my mind, my body, and my affairs. All right. Divine order is now established in my mind, my body, and my affairs. So I started to say that sentence. I got out of the business of setting super granular, like over controlling goals years ago. I started speaking those words about 5 years ago. And I will tell you that they have reordered my neurobiology. They have reordered the cells of my physical body, my spirit, my children, my family, my finances, my love life, my home, my businesses, my relationships, my old traumas and dramas, my new capacities and joys. All of it has been radically transformed in very comprehensive and world-rocking ways, okay? So a lot of this aligning to divine order felt like chaos and crisis before it felt good, before it felt like, oh, this is all gonna work out, right? There's a thing you gotta bring to this mantra. You gotta bring the trust that it's gonna work out, okay? But I stood in the chaos and the crisis, notwithstanding that it felt crazy, knowing, because I did have the knowing that crisis is always a turning point. It's always a turning point opportunity. So this mantra is how you learn, which many of us need to learn in this season, how to leverage crisis, big crisis energy, chaos, contraction, constriction energy, and transmute it into evolution energy, into big dream energy, into big dream fulfillment energy. All right. So be advised, this quantum leap, I'm calling it the quantum leap mantra. This is not a mantra you should throw around lightly. Like, only use these words if you are truly ready and willing to see what needs seeing and say what needs saying, in order that your life might be expanded by divine order. Overcome sees under grace and in perfect ways in every part of your mind, your body, and your affairs. So I promise you that if you have the courage to use this mantra, it will take you to promised lands that your conscious mind has not even been able to imagine. It will take you places you haven't even been able to think of or imagine yet. All right, until now. So, beloved, keep your head up, keep your heart out, and I will see you on the next Transformation Tuesday.